Welcome, friends, to the Access to Success podcast featuring Project Shine. I'm your host, Saeed Al-Basha, and joining me on this Project Shine journey is the one and only Mike Diamond. This is episode 3 of the series, and today we're diving into goal setting. So, why is goal setting so important? It seems like an easy question, right? But do we have the blueprint on how to set these goals? And do we take everything that's necessary into consideration? This is the kind of detail we go into on today's show. More specifically, we'll dig into how to close the gap between where you are and where you want to be. We'll also come up with some questions to ask yourself to do a quick evaluation, and we'll go into the 7 Ps. This is something that Mike goes into in his book, The 7 Steps to an Unbreakable Mindset, which, while we're on the topic, you might as well go to Amazon and look for that book. It's by Mike Diamond. It's called 7 Steps to an Unbreakable Mindset. You guys are going to love the book. A lot of good content. Anyway, the 7 Ps that we go into are purpose, plan, priorities, people, places, perseverance, and patience. And if you didn't get all those, don't worry. I put them in the show notes. And also, Mike Diamond puts them in his book. But first, is it time to dump that old ride for a sweet, shiny new one? If so, come see our good friends Shams and AJ at North Hollywood Toyota. If you tell them that Mike Diamond or the Access to Success podcast sent you, you'll get a free car. Kidding, they won't be free, but they'll definitely hook you up. North Hollywood Toyota. It's located off Lankershim, off the 134 freeway. Go check them out. And now, let's get into some goal setting so you can make more money for that shiny new car. All right, and we're back with the 3rd edition of Project Shine.
Yes, we are.
With my man Mike Diamond. I'm Saeed Al-Basha. And today, we're going to talk about goal setting. And you have a little something up your sleeve here that you mentioned before we started recording here. So we'll start off with this. Why is it important to set goals? And what does setting goals do for us?
All right, well, let's look at it like this. You get in my car. And you say, where are we going to go? And I'm like, I don't know. And you're like, what do you mean you don't know? And I'm like, let's just drive around in circles. 4 lefts is a circle, right?
Yeah.
Where do we go? Nowhere. After a while, it gets boring because you have no direction, right? What do they say? You can't hit a target you don't see. So we have to have objective and purpose. So if you don't have goals, things to actually live by and purpose, what happens? You just kind of meander through life, and then you just react to the world saying life isn't fair. Do you know what I mean? You've got this mindset like, poor me, and you don't ever get out of your comfort zone. And it's like I spoke to someone the other day, and they're like, just everything that came out of their mouth was against them. And they live in a really, really comfortable city. They've got money. Okay. They've got nothing that's like tragic or traumatic, had a great upbringing.
Nothing should be wrong.
No, nothing. And everything is a problem. And I'm like, wow. And it's that mentality like, if I had $1 million, I'd be okay. You'd have 1 million problems.
Yeah.
You have to be resourceful with what you have in the moment. So it's like I say, if you want to get in shape, cut down on the food and go for a walk around the block. Yep, shut up and do that. Think about this. There's 365 days in a year.
Yeah.
Right? Do something positive every day. Just something positive. I've been sober 13 years, right? I don't know how many actual moments and that you have these apps. It's 13 years. I'm not a newcomer anymore.
Sure.
Okay. So that means my goal was to not drink and do drugs for the rest of my life. It's a pretty big goal.
That's huge.
Pretty big commitment. Okay. So anything you want to do in life, you have to create a goal. You have to have a reason. There's 7 Ps, and if you listen to this, write them down. I guarantee if you write these Ps down, you will kill procrastination and be a success. The first one is purpose. You must have a why. Without purpose, you have nothing. Purpose is the glue that sticks everything together when everything goes to shit.
Yeah.
Purpose makes you the palm tree in the hurricane.
Mm-hmm. It's going to pull you through when you don't feel like doing
Everything.
Yeah.
Because why? It gets you up in the morning. I have a purpose. I have a why. I'm running for Layla. Okay? If I don't run for Layla, she dies. I have a purpose. It's a big purpose. I have to raise money for a little girl or she dies.
Yeah. It's pretty big.
You know what I mean? Like, that's a serious purpose. Now, you get the purpose. You have your why. Okay? Plan. What's my plan? Now, when you get the plan and you create a plan, okay? So, let's go for, if you're going to open a business. Right? Why do you want to open the business? Okay? And it can't be, I just want to open business to make money, because you'll make all the money and guess what? No one will care in the end.
Yeah.
And it can't be based on resentment. I'm going to show everyone. You make $1 billion and you know what? No one cares. So your purpose has to be of service. You have to give something. You have to serve in some way. Okay? Create a plan. What's the plan? Okay? So if you go and say, I'm going to build a house, why? Because I want to have a really nice house for my family. Okay, what's the plan? I don't know. I'm just going to slab some shit together. Well, you sound a bit stupid, but think about it. People never put together a plan. You'd have to have a blueprint, right? So what's the plan? So where did you come up with that plan? If someone's done it before, take the plan.
Sure.
There's no problem. There's plenty of books out there. Just take their plan. If it's a good plan, but then relate it to your life. Okay?
You're right. It has to be translated.
To you.
Yeah.
Right? So this is what I'm saying. If someone says, I'm passionate about basketball and I really want to really play basketball and I've got an inclination to play it, right? And I'm 5'9", but I'm pretty good, right? Because there's guys like Bob Webb was 5'6". Okay, what's the plan? I'm just going to do exactly what Michael Jordan did. Okay, well, does that plan work? Well, what do you mean? He's 6'6". You know what I mean? Like, you see what I'm saying? So look at it, but then say, okay, that was his plan. How does it adapt to my life? My reality. Mm-hmm. So if someone did start a business, like everyone right now wants to do the next Instagram. Well, why?
Because I want to be rich and I want to make a bunch of money.
What's your purpose? Not going to work.
Yeah.
When they created those platforms was to share information, share photos. They had they knew what they were doing. I mean, when you look at, Zuckerberg doing Facebook, some of it came out of resentment, but he wanted to share the information. You see what I'm saying? Like,
sure.
So get your plan.
Judge, if you will, by their current status. Their original plan was to connect people.
Absolutely.
It wasn't to make billions and create.
That was their purpose, to connect. It was brilliant.
It was more of a connection.
Absolutely, and you got to give them that. Now, so you have a plan. Now, a plan is great on paper, but what do you have to do? Take action.
Yeah.
So take the plan and make it an action plan. Okay? So you have your purpose. Create a plan. Look at other people's plans. Right? Does this plan make sense? Is it realistic? Take action on the plan. Okay? Now, priorities. Some things matter more than others.
Absolutely.
So you have to look at the time you spend on things and why, and does it relate to my purpose? Okay, so I wake up, my purpose is to run 30 half marathons in 30 days. Okay? I have a schedule of how I've got to train. Right? To do it, to attempt it. Most people train 12 to 16 weeks to run one. I'm training 12 to 16 weeks to run 30.
Yeah.
It's a different plan. So I have some blueprints out there, but I've also got to come up with a plan that's realistic to my body and my goals. Okay, my goal is to break the world record and to raise money for Layla. Time, priorities. How am I going to break up my 24 hours? I got a newborn. So you have to prioritize your time. That means I have to get up between, 3:30, 4, 3:45 is usually the sweet spot. How much time am I going to spend running? Right? How much time am I going to spend lifting weights? Then I've got to fill the day with other things. Okay? So I've got to, and then I've got to take responsibility because I coach people. Right? And I've got to raise money for it. Right? There's a lot of things. Okay? Now, people. Who are the people in my team? They always say, 5 people you surround yourself with, right? Okay, so who are the people?
You are the accumulation of
Absolutely, the 5 people,
you surround
right?
yourself with.
So you're either around anchors or engines. Anchors hold you down, engines drive you. I want engines. So you and I decide we want to go on a road trip. The purpose is to see America and visit friends in New York. We're in LA. Okay, that's the purpose. What's the plan? We plan to do it over this many days, stop at this many gas stations, right? Which is realistic. Okay, perfect. We want to travel, so we understand we have priorities, how much time we're going to spend in the car, because we can't do it in one day. It's impossible.
Right.
We look at the journey. We take the macro goal, break it into micro steps, right? Then we look at the people. We fill the car up with 4 people, okay? 2 people in the back are complete goddamn anchors. You're in a relationship. You're trying to start a business. What do? You got people that work for you. Are you a people pleaser? Are they taking you off purpose? Are they messing up your plan? Are they messing up your priorities? What do? You got to cut them. You don't. If you're a coach of a Super Bowl team, and you've got a quarterback who's missing an arm, do you keep him?
Probably not.
You got no defensive line. You're not going to win. Okay? People. Surround yourself with the right people. So what does Napoleon Hill say in Think and Grow Rich? Your mastermind team. Get the right people. Do not be the smartest guy in the room. You can have direct and indirect mentors. A direct mentor is someone like me or you, right? I have 2 that I go to. Then you have indirect, which is the information you gather from books you read. David Goggins, great idea, right? Read his book. Someone said, would you want to meet him? I'm like, what am I going to do meeting him? I don't need to meet the guy. What I would not want to, I don't have nothing to meet the guy with. I like his stories, but I don't want to meet him. What's he going to say to me? Go out and do 1,000 push-ups on your face.
Yeah.
I have no desire to meet the guy. You know, I've seen all his podcasts. I love what he does. He follows no one on social media. I personally love the guy, but I don't need to meet him to be inspired by his action, right?
It's indirect.
Indirect,
Yeah.
right? So, but there's other people that I need in my team to pull this off. Okay, like one of my mentors, best friends, business partners, Dara. She's the best. I go to her. She's very successful, very wealthy. She's super switched on. She, put together stuff financially when she was young. I go to her for business stuff. I ask her, what would you do? She's helping me with this. She is project shying with me. Do you know what I mean? No, don't do it. Okay. I don't question it. I go to her with relationship stuff because she's really good at that stuff. I ask her, what would you do? No, do this, right? So
Yeah.
you've got to go to people.
Right.
Places, my environment. Set yourself up to succeed.
That's a crucial one because
Huge.
You could surround yourself with the right people, but if you're in the wrong environment, it doesn't matter. You're not going to succeed.
Can't. So what did I do? I'm having a baby. I put a gym in my garage. Why? I have no excuses. The weights, the bike. I bought a treadmill for $20 on the street at a garage sale, and it works great. If it's raining and I have to get out and I can't push the baby in the stroller, I got a $20 treadmill. I jump on that treadmill.
No excuses.
My environment. Now, another thing, our dopamine receptors work through scent. Okay? Visual. So there's 4 ways it can work. People get addicted to porn. Why? Because it spikes their dopamine receptors, the reward system. They see the visual stimulation. I'm going to win $1 million. Video games, the reward system, visual. Okay? Okay. So put things on your vision board that make you feel good, spike your dopamine.
Yeah.
Okay? Secondly, taste. Certain flavors, certain things spike your dopamine. Okay? When you're under stress, your dopamine receptors drop. Okay? Therefore, you crave certain sugars. Okay? Your glycemic index gets messed up. So when you go home, right, your place, if you want to go on a diet, and you open your fridge and there's donuts or an apple, you're going to eat the donuts.
Right.
Unfortunately. Right? But if you have apples, have you ever seen a guy eat a bag of apples? No. Because it balances out your glycemic index.
That's true, man.
Right?
You're talking about me here because
Right. Have you ever seen someone sprint into a grocery store going, I need apples, I need apples?
Never.
No.
I'll have an apple, but if there's a box of donuts, I'll have multiple donuts.
There you go. Because the sugar, right?
Yeah.
So it spikes your dopamine and you need more. Okay? Now, smells. When you walk into a massage parlor or the aromatherapy clinic, it smells of lavender, jasmine. Why? because it spikes your dopamine and endorphins. Okay? So you've got taste, you've got smells, you've got taste, smells, and visual. Now, music, happy house music, 126 beats per minute spikes your dopamine.
Yeah.
Right? So you go to a happy house party and then you take ecstasy, which spikes your dopamine and serotonin, and you're on fire.
on fire.
Right? You're not listening to Alice in Chains in the corner doing heroin.
Right.
Okay? So let's look at it like this. So if you set up your environment that places... So what do? Burn some candles. Make it smell good. Get some fragrances. When you walk into your little home gym or wherever you are, set up an environment where you're meditating and you're doing. If you want to sit down and work in your environment, put an apple. Put some, some almonds. Things that aren't going to, mess with your sugar. If you go to sit down and write or you want to write a book, what's your environment like? Get some candles. Get some nice scents, right? Play some nice music. Do something to get you in the mood, to prime you, right? So you set up the place. So what we got? We got a purpose. We have a plan we turn into action plan. We have priorities. We have people. We have our environment, places. Now, the last two are the killer. You can have everything else, the first five. If you don't get the last two, you fail. Perseverance and patience.
Ooh. Speaking my language.
Right?
Perseverance.
Now, bamboo tree. You heard the story?
No.
Okay. So the Chinese bamboo tree. You have to water and fertilize the soil for 5 years. Plant the seeds, water and fertilize 5 years. On the 5th year, it sprouts. It then grows between 60 and 90 feet in 6 weeks.
Wow.
But if you don't do the work for the 5 years, you don't get nothing.
No tree.
Okay? So, we can water our dreams all day, but if we don't fertilize and water and do the work, set the goals, right, and persevere, and we have to be patient. Success and failure. A successful person does the work no matter how they feel. An unsuccessful person only does the work when they feel good. You are never going to feel good.
Right.
Motivation is bullshit. Gravity pulls your ass to the seat. You have to get off the seat and build momentum. Once you build momentum and create momentum, it takes less momentum to keep going.
Right. It's like kinetic energy. Things aren't always going to be perfect. And they could be perfect when you start. Everybody's in a good mood. Everybody's charged. That motivation that you're talking about. Everybody's motivated. And then you have a hurdle. And then somebody quits. What do? You have to persevere.
There you go. So that's why your purpose is the most important thing. So whatever you want to do in life, when you set a goal, if you've got those P's, look at it like this. It's really, really simple. There's will and skill, and it's been proven. Roger Bannister, 4-minute mile, okay? They said it was impossible to run a mile in 4 minutes. Bannister said, I can break it. I can run it in 4 minutes. They said your heart will explode. Roger Bannister wasn't the greatest runner. He didn't even do that well in the Olympics. But he took the macro goal, which was the 4-minute mile, and he broke it down into 1 minute, 1 minute, 1 minute, 1 minute, right? Because if I can run everything in a minute and the last one under, I'll break a 4-minute mile. So a few attempts, he didn't get it, ran against the clock, ran it in 3:59. That year, I think it was 13 people broke the 4-minute mile. Now they run a mile in like 3:45, something crazy, 15 seconds faster than the original. But he was the guy. Okay? You have to look at it like this. Wherever you are right now and wherever I want to be, if you're listening to this, there is a gap. Mm-hmm. How you close the gap is your ability and your will to learn the acquired skills. In anything, there's a gap of the weight. So forget all the resources and become resourceful. Work with what you have in the moment, your very resources, and create from there. So I'll give you a perfect example, okay? Gary Vee. He's huge. Gary Vee started with wine TV. He worked for his family business and started to critique wines. 1,000 episodes, right? Critiquing wines? He worked with what he had. He wanted to build his family business and was one of the first guys to put the liquor store and the wine on e-commerce, right? When you think about that to where he is now, that how resourceful he was, you're like, wine TV? That sounds like the dumbest thing ever. Seriously.
It's really boring.
It sounds stupid.
Yeah.
I mean, I've watched a couple of episodes, not what I want to watch, but look at what he did with nothing. You know?
Yeah.
So you've got to have a goal. You've got to have a purpose. And then you say why. And then you start acquiring the skills and you kill your excuses by saying, I am just going to use, if you want to lose weight and the gap is 100 pounds, well, you got 100 pounds overweight from the choices you made, right? So let's cut down on the food, right? And let's start exercising. And if that means standing in your apartment and doing push-ups, and doing squats and putting on a timer, that's what you're going to do. And you're going to walk around the block. Yeah. You don't need a gym membership. Because the 80% or 90% of people that join the gym in January for the New Year's resolution, 3% show up. So
I see it. I see it every year.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you just do with what you have. You don't need the fancy shoes. You don't need the fancy trainer. You don't need anything. You just need to do the work. That's why if you don't have a goal and a purpose, you have nothing. You're dissatisfied. So get the purpose. Find out the why. And forget what everyone else is doing. Ask yourself, why am I doing this? What do I want? And why do I want it?
That comparison piece is interesting too, because in comparison, we're comparing our current state to someone else's different state.
Correct.
Whether they're further along or behind us. You know, we've gone beyond what they've been able to accomplish. But comparing is useless.
Useless.
It doesn't matter like how much money I make and how successful I am and how many listeners I have on my podcasts and how much I get paid per hour or speaking gig. Irrelevant compared to someone else, because I have my goals. As long as I'm achieving those goals, I'm happy. Forget what Gary Vee's making with his channel and what everyone else is. It doesn't matter. If my goal is to make as much money as Gary Vee, then yes, I should compare myself to Gary Vee.
What's that worth?
$5.
Why?
Because of its perceived value nowadays.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But it's a piece of paper.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Does it come with us in the end?
No.
There you go. It has no value, but the value we give it is perception. It's bullshit. So if you're valuing that, or I'm valuing this piece of paper, I've already lost. Because purpose is not about paper. The greatest lesson you can do to yourself, right? I lost a friend of mine, Tim, just recently, 45, brain cancer. Okay? My friend Yoji killed himself just recently, okay? I always say this. What separates good from great is shutting out the noise, going inside and figuring out why you want to do it and being of service. Because it's all bullshit unless you're helping others. So when you go out there, you go, okay, I want to do something. I want to be of service. Go home by yourself, sit by yourself, and write out your bio. Write out what you want people to say about you when you die. And then ask yourself this. Why aren't I living that way now?
It's a powerful question.
Now, when I left Australia, I won a green card in a lottery. The guy that owned the clothing store, I was coming to America. Now, I have gone through massive evolutions and changes and taken on multiple different jobs to find who I was and but I always wanted to help people. I was always good at wanting to help people. Right? I took different paths to get here. So the guy that owned the store, Dean, great guy, suppressed all his emotions. When I was coming to America, he goes, "You're crazy. Don't know anyone in America." And it's true, I didn't know anyone, but I was going to take the risk and I was going to come. I went back to visit him. And at the time, I had the bar with Velvet Revolver. I was doing great. I'd shot a couple of shows. And he didn't look well. I said, "Do you go on a vacation?" He goes, No, I'm going to retire soon, blah, blah, blah. I came back to America. A friend of mine hit me up that also worked in the clothing store. Dead, 50 years old, cancer.
Jeez. Yeah.
See what I'm saying? You've got to enjoy the process. You've got to enjoy the ride, the journey, not the destination.
Right.
The destination is bullshit. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So Stephen Covey puts it great. I think it's 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Write out your eulogy. What do you want people to say? How are you going to leave your mark on people? You have to do that by how you affect them.
Exactly.
That's
And
real shit.
it's the service. It's
Of course.
Not that you're going to bend over backwards for people doing their errands for them, but what value are you providing? What value are you instilling in your family, in your community,
Yep.
in the world? We're no longer limited by our communities because of this wonderful thing called social media. We can impact people across the globe, but how are we affecting them?
Agreed. And look, it's like the other day, right? I have people hit me up all the time, and I do respond to messages. And the reason I do is this: years ago there was a guy who's passed now, and there's a place in Australia called the Gap, and it's called the Gap because people jump off and kill themselves. It's horrible. And this guy, I don't remember his something Carroll. I read this beautiful article about him. So he lived near this area in Australia, and one day he was watching a guy, and I don't know if he actually saw someone jump, and then the next time he saw someone walking out, he ran out and said, "Hey, dude, look, here's the deal. You're going to jump. I get it. But why don't you come inside, have a cup of coffee, cup of tea. I'll give you some biscuits. We'll chat. If you still want to jump. I don't give a shit. But just let's chat." Saved hundreds of people's lives.
Wow.
He wasn't certified. He wasn't a therapist. He was just a dude that took the time to hear people's problems. People that are in pain because they think they're alone. Okay? Because people lose hope because people kick them in the teeth and tell them they're stupid and tell them they're useless and tell them that they mean nothing. And that's all bullshit. Those opinions are bullshit. If I listened to every kid that bullied me and my 3rd grade teacher that thought by bringing me up in front of class and making me read in front of the class at 3rd grade so everyone could mock me and laugh at me was going to make me a better reader, right now that teacher would be fired.
Yeah.
But that's what I was dealt with. So what I do, I took that adversity. I'm like, I'm going to turn this shit around.
Yeah.
So you have to set goals. You have to have purpose. You have to be of service. You know, go out and just smile at fucking people. Be a good person.
Easy.
Do you know what I mean?
It really is easy, man. Like I do notice it nowadays when we're in line at the grocery store or at the, waiting for the dentist at the dentist office. People are glued to their phones.
Everything. I blew big deals up because of ego, because I couldn't get out of my own way because I was a dick, but because I wasn't being of service. You know, I was worried about
you were in
me.
it for yourself, right?
Yeah, if you have a scarcity mentality, you end up with nothing. You have to realize there's enough money out there for anyone. If you think abundant and you get out of your own way, you will manifest and attract the wealth that you deserve if you're of service. It has to circulate. You've got to put it out to get it back.
Yeah.
If you hold on to it, you don't get shit.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I always tip really good. You want good service? Tip before the meal comes.
Yeah. It's that, I know it's a bad example because of your sobriety, but whenever I go to a bar, it goes in the tip jar first. And usually that bartender, as soon as they see me walk up, it's somebody coming in.
When I was in Australia, and we'll finish with this because I know we're going to get off. Yeah. When I was in Australia, you don't tip. Right? I found my way into nightclubs. You know why? No one tips. I tipped everyone. I'd tip the door guy, the security guy, the bartenders. I never waited anywhere. They're like, this guy tips. Because you don't tip in Australia.
Yeah.
Whatever I had in my pocket that night, I was prepared to give out. I just give it out. It's like, don't go to Vegas and complain when you lose money. If you're going to go to Vegas, there's gambling, go and have fun.
Yeah.
If you want to go and gamble, go gamble. Don't cry about it afterwards.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, you know, to kill your procrastination, follow the P's, set your goals, macro goal, micro steps. I mean, let's look at two simple analogies, right? How are you going to eat an elephant? Bite by bite. How are you going to climb a mountain? Step by step, right? The journey of 1,000 miles, one step at a time.
Starts with a single step.
Like when they say, the more sobriety I get, it's day by day, moment by moment.
Mm-hmm.
So keep it simple, be mindful, stay in the moment, set your goals, and just kill your excuses, and you're going to be successful.
Great stuff.
All right?
All right, my man. All right. I know you guys learned something new from this episode. I'm positive that you're going to be able to apply it in your lives. I want to hear about it. So if you haven't already, make sure you're subscribed to this podcast. Also, go into the review section of the app and leave us a quick review. Tell us what you love about it, what you would like to see more of, and we'll honor that request. So until next time, I love you all, and I'll see you on the next episode.